Versailles, an emblem of an era. French monarch Louis XIV transformed a small castle that his father had built in the countryside at Versailles into an immense residence. For the first time in history, the king, the court, and the government lived all together in one and the same place. Versailles is a formidable tool of absolute monarchy, according to which all power is concentrated in the king and exercised only by those to whom he entrusts it, and who he can keep an eye on because they are close to him. From Versailles, Louis XIV ruled a centralized and absolutist state, which was built around his person. The sacred person of the king was magnified by the beauty of the buildings and the decorations and gardens. Life at Versailles was governed by the timetable of the king, who lived on constant show. Even his simplest gestures occurred in public, from his rising and going to bed to his meals. The highest-ranking nobles aspired for the honor of serving him. Furthermore, Versailles was open to everyone. The king's great apartment and the Hall of Mirrors, embellished with the most beautiful paintings and sculptures in the royal collections, could be visited like a museum. In the morning, everyone could see the king when he went in procession to the chapel. There subjects could give him a placet, a written request, to which a minister would reply within 15 days. In the evening, the great apartment was reserved for the celebrations that the king held for the whole court, which had to be kept occupied. Quite literally, the king entertained his lords to death, keeping them too busy to have any real power on their own. In the summer, sumptuous festivities were held in the gardens, which, like the castle, had been created using all the resources of the kingdom and more. The greatest scientists and artists, the most beautiful marbles, the rarest trees. The decorations all referred to the person of the king. In the great apartment and in the gardens, Louis XIV, the Sun King, is portrayed as Apollo, god of the sun in Greek mythology. On the vault in the Hall of Mirrors, he appears dressed as a Roman emperor presiding over victories and dispensing the benefits of his reign. In the chapel, his place in the tribune is dominated by a great painting that depicts the descent of the Holy Spirit, recalling the fact that the king is elected by God and must act for the good of his people. Later, during the 19th century, the palace would be reclaimed and revived by the French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, who would preserve its military prestige in the Gallery of Battles, a long hallway adorned with magnificent and ornate depictions of French military history in rich and vibrant oil paintings. Despite the restoration of something of the palace's former glory by Napoleon, its legacy and importance is still most closely associated with the Sun King, Louis XIV, whose exceptionally extravagant chateau embodies the absolute power and authority of his 72-year reign.